Welcome back, everybody. It is Randy here, back for another video. Now, I know it's been quite some time since I've uploaded. The last video uploaded was the GBA D-League Season 3 World Championship, and I never got around to doing a recap video. This last month has been pretty hectic with stuff I've been doing. I could have found a way to record, but it would have been stuff that probably wouldn't have been on the channel or like that long, or not as interesting. So, kind of just waited it out. You guys saw the XBL teaser a while back and the announcement video, shortly after. So we already drafted and stuff. People have already uploaded their draft analyses and stuff like that. So I'm going to be uploading mine. Mine's a bit late, but not too late, because week 1 does actually go up this weekend. I believe this Saturday, the 9th, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check because my calendar might be off. But yeah, the 9th is when we start uploading. So we'll be going up against PapaSea for that week. But I just want to get into a short draft analysis. And I don't want to make it long because, my throat's not feeling well, and I'm just trying to get through this. I don't mean to BS this, but the graphics do look pretty nice. So, I'm going to be working those out throughout the future and stuff. Maybe I can change how the stats look and stuff. So, I'll work on getting cleaner graphics. But for the moment, I feel like this is a good way to have my draft analysis, as well as potentially do my team builders using a slide you'll see later on in the video. So let's go ahead and jump into it. The XBL is an extreme draft, as you guys know. We allowed a crazy amount of mods. I'll try to leave the document in the description if I can, because I'm not sure if we can, because it might just be the official doc, but I'm not sure. Maybe we do have a fan doc. But if you guys saw some of the tiers, it's a point system draft, first off, and we're allowing stuff like Speed Boost, Blaziken, Darkrai, Genesect, Giratina, Greninja Protean, Mega Metagross. We're even allowing Necrozma in here because of its typing. We want to give it a shot and see what happens. So this isn't the most standard league. It's not meant to be the most competitive and balanced. So if there are point discrepancies with some people's opinions, I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're here to have fun. I feel like my team's probably one of the most broken ones because it just ended up being that way. So yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and jump into my draft. Again, I'll try to leave the document, or at least the drafting, the tiers, I can call them the points, the prices, I should say. I'll leave the prices in the description below. So of course you get 110 points each, and we're allowed to draft 9 to 12 mons with 0 to 2 Z crystals. So it's one of those drafts where you have to draft Z crystals. Wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about that, but ultimately, it probably is going to work out because, no one really cares about Z crystals in this draft. Everybody just wanted to draft fun stuff. And we were also kind of required to draft like a meme pick. So you guys will see what I pick later on. But I believe I picked like number 7 out of 10 people. So there are 10 coaches. The top 4 make playoffs. So extremely similar to the GBA D-League in terms of size and even competitiveness as well. So it's going to be a pretty fun league. So I picked number 7, so kind of a middle-ish pick, not a big fan. So I picked up NAGANADEL for 15 points. Now, this is pretty much, I didn't know anything about this mon when I drafted it, because I drafted before the games even came out. All we knew about NAGANADEL was its move pool, I believe, and its stats. So it wasn't even on Showdown yet. So I just thought, looking at its speed and special attack, and its coverage, it gets Dragon Stab with Draco Meteor, it gets Sludge Wave, and it gets Fire Blast. There's hardly any type in this game, let alone draft format, where people can't even draft everything they can, that can wall this thing. So I picked it up for 15 points. Everybody else for picking some of the broken stuff. I know Magirna, Greninja Protean, Necrozma, Marshadow were all off the board before me. So I was the only one that picked a mon below at 15 points in the first round. But now that NAGANADEL's an Uber, I guess I do essentially have an Uber, like a 25-point mon on a team. But, I mean, who's to say it's going to be broken in draft format anyways? I'm sure there will be nice counters to it, some nice techniques or nice builds to deal with it. It's still going to be a beast, so don't get me wrong. But, we'll see how it goes. If, sure, people might think, oh, it's ban-worthy in league formats. I mean, people will never know until they test it. So, and there are a lot more broken stuff than this thing. Arguably even my next pick than this thing. So, really nothing else to say here. I don't really know too much about how to use it. I just know that Nasty Plot 3 attacks is pretty standard. I feel like Substitute 3 attacks is a huge potential for this thing. It's got no physical attack, so there's no point in trying to use that. But overall, I mean, it doesn't get that much coverage moves. Other than notable ones are Thunderbolt. I guess Dragon Tail is pretty interesting in case you want to go up against a Trick Room team or something. Air Slash is interesting in case you're going up against something. that's weak to flying. But I mean, it's stab moves and fire is all you pretty much need in Nasty Plot. So yeah, that's a NAGANADEL. I'm not sure what I'm gonna nickname it yet, but hopefully I'll have some nicknames for the first battle. If I don't have them, I'll probably have them as in progress. But yeah. So next up in my second round pick, this one was somehow still available. I felt nasty drafting it, but it's a really broken mon. So I scooped it. I picked up Mega Metagross for 25 points. Now this mon's a beast. I mean, it was ban-worthy in OU because this mon you can't switch into it, especially upon first turn Mega Evolving with, because like the #1 switch into this thing usually is probably something like a defensive Landorus, but if Metagross hasn't Mega Evolved yet, it gets that free turn to Mega Evolve with Clear Body. So its attack isn't even lowered on the first turn, so it's not even a switch into Meteor Mash. It's a clean 2-shot, and of course with the defense boost or an attack raise, Ice Punch is for sure gonna knock it out and stuff like that. It's a really hard mon to switch into. I don't really see how people are gonna be able to prep against this thing because it's just too damn strong. I might try to like work a way to maybe drop this thing or trade it, because I feel like having NAGANADEL and Metagross is just like so annoying, especially the way I built around these mons. So I'll talk to maybe PapaSea about it, but otherwise, this mon is so good. It gets stuff like Stealth Rock, Agility, it gets Pursuits, the trap stuff, it gets Bullet Punch, it gets Screens, it gets Grass Knot to deal with some like fatter ground types that it can't touch in case I want to run mixed. Like it has a pretty decent special attack stat at 105, to where if I want to run some like mixed sets, I might experiment with that, because it has the power to do it. So that's something interesting to note. Yeah, so that's Mega Metagross. Nothing else to say about it. It's the face of the XBL, the mascot, I guess, the shiny version. Fun fact, that teaser video, the shiny Metagross Mega Evolving, was from one of my videos, so that's pretty cool. Not that it really matters, but yeah. So third round pick, I picked up SUICUNE for 13 points. And SUICUNE is a very fat water type. It's a very annoying Pokemon to deal with. I hate playing against it. I hate building against it because it's just so annoying. Crocune is like the #1 set. Probably gonna be running that most weeks, but I'm not a huge fan of using slow setup like that, because I just feel like I get too impatient. As much as I like to say I'm a very patient person, in Pokemon it's kind of hard for me to. I don't know why. So, but I mean, nonetheless, SUICUNE is a really good mon. It has pretty damn good bulk, and it has a decent special attack stats where it can abuse, its offensive coverage moves such as Ice Beam, Extra Sensory. It gets Hydro Pump, which I never knew it got. I never see Hydro Pump because Skull's always there. It's Shadow Ball, Signal Beam, stuff like that. I guess Tailwind, which is pretty cool. Tailwind is something I do see myself using on this team in the future, because Tailwind's just really cool to have. But I mean, overall, SUICUNE, we all know what it does. It's a nice fat water type. It doesn't get like recovery. It's not a cleric, but it's still annoying at what it does, and that's all I can ask for. It's a very nice fire resist, which my team does need, and it actually deals with ground types pretty damn easily as well. So overall, SUICUNE was just a great pickup. And yeah, I mean, nothing else to say about that. Let's go ahead and jump to my 4th round pick. We have ALOLAN NINETALES, and this is where the plan starts to get into shape here. ALOLAN NINETALES for 13 points. Or some could say that's a steal. It's an OU mon right now. Obviously, like Clay, Aura Veil is the set that I'll probably be running most of the time. Aura Veil with Mega Metagross, SUICUNE just seems so hard to kill. So that was the plan from here on out, to get mons that can build around those mons that can be useful under Aura Veil, because Aura Veil is essentially Light Screen and Reflect, but all in one move. All you have to do is have Hail up, and with Light Clay it'll be up for 8 turns. The only way to get rid of it is with Brick Break, I believe Psychic Fangs, and Defog. So or you can taunt me to stop it, but that's probably not a more reliable option. Or you can have Opposing Weather, which is something that I can maybe see happening in the future. But I mean, Ninetales isn't the strongest Pokemon. I mean, it's faster than its regular form. It's a little bit less strong. It's a little bit bulkier though. But overall, I mean, this Ninetales is a lot better than the other Ninetales, because Aura Veil just makes it so hard to kill its team. And Ice is always a good type to have. Ice Fairy is a pretty damn good typing. I can check most of the 4 times week 2 Ice Pokemon's got pretty good speed. Speed ties with Kartana. Which I believe someone did draft. I can't remember off the top of my head who did. but someone did draft Cartana. I'll have to remember that. I'll remember that when I go against them. But yeah, I mean, nothing else to say about this. It doesn't really get that much coverage moves. It's just Veil Blizzard. It's pretty standard. Moonblast might be coming. Maybe Disable Encore, or those moves I might experiment with. Foul Play as well, in case I want to have a way to deal with like a setup sweeper. So yeah, I mean, nothing else to say about this. Let's go ahead and jump into my next pick, which is the Decidueye, which apparently was a huge snipe for the league. Apparently, everybody wanted to use Decidueye, and I don't blame them. Decidueye is a really cool mon. I've always wanted to try it in draft format. It's only been one generation, so I do want to use it before. I guess I lose my interest, but I probably won't lose my interest in draft leagues because I'm already in 2 right now. So Decidueye, Grass Ghost, pretty damn good defensive typing, deals with those ground types that my team is somewhat weak to. I don't have an immunity at this time, so I wanted to get Decidueye. It's Defog. Its hidden ability isn't out yet, but that doesn't really matter at this point. Spirit Shackle, pretty damn good move. 80 base power, physical attack. It traps your opponents, which is really good for like defensive Pokemon that I might want to have a better chance of setting up on, or if I want to just keep it in there while I get initiative. But yeah, I mean, it gets Nasty Plot as well. Nasty Plot Swords Dance is a very nice option to have on his Pokemon, especially in Orvale, and it's got pretty damn good bulk to take advantage of that. So Decidueye is the one that I look forward to using this season. So I hope I make it work. But there's nothing else to say about it. So let's go ahead and jump into our next pick. We have his fire counterpart, the Incineroar, from this generation. Picked it up for 7 points. And I finally have a pretty damn good fire type. I think it's not the best Pokemon. Obviously, it's got speed. It's pretty bad, but its bulk and its attack is pretty good. It does get access to, I believe, it gets access to Nasty Plot and Swords Dance. So again, it's another one of those Pokemon that can maybe with a bulkier spread can set up with Orvale. So that's pretty cool. If for some reason their hidden abilities, Decidueye and Incineroar, are released throughout the season, I'm pretty sure I can't use them because I think it's a rule saying if there's and the XBL rules. I'll have to ask PapaSea about that. So in the next, what, like 10 weeks, if the ability is released, then I probably can't use it. If not, it's not a big deal. But yeah, I mean, Incineroar, it's got a pretty like weird like support moveset that people often don't know it gets. It gets stuff like I guess knockoff now, which is good. I don't know if it got knockoff before. I can't remember if it did. But it gets stuff like Fake Out, Endeavor. It gets Drain Punch now, which is I guess interesting, but not really. There's another move I was forgetting. What other move does he get? It gets Throat Chop, which is a dark type move which prevents like sound based moves, which is something I could maybe seeing myself using against mons that use voice moves like that. So we'll see where that takes me. But again, nothing else to say about Incineroar. I'll find ways to make it creative, hopefully, throughout the season. But overall, it was my dark type and fire type in one, which was pretty interesting. So next up is yet another snipe on the league. I got MUDSDALE, the horse. MUDSDALE, I love MUDSDALE, man. In VGC, it's so good. I haven't used as much as I wanted to, and it's already VGC 18 season almost. So a bit late on that, but nonetheless, MUDSDALE is a lot of fun. It's got pretty damn good abilities, stamina being its main ability. But the main reason why I drafted this horse was the fact that it gets Stealth Rock now. So I do plan on using a certain set, I should say, on some weeks with Stealth Rocker, because MUDSDALE is stamina, Stealth Rock. It's gonna be a fun mon to use for sure, and of course it has pretty damn good power at base 125 attack. So I look forward to using this thing. MUDSDALE seems like a lot of fun. I can pretty much count this as one of my ground resists because after one hit, most ground types are physical attackers, and after one hit, I'm at +1 defense. So it's gonna be a lot of fun to use for sure. I've always loved MUDSDALE, man. It looks so cool, and yeah, that's it. So next mon up, we have the Braviary for, I believe it was 6 points, which is pretty damn cheap for me. So it's got pretty good abilities. It's got Sheer Force and Defiant. Kenai isn't really that great, but Sheer Force and Defiant. Defiant was the main one that I was interested in because Defiant mons are so much fun to use because it is, and on the opponent's back of the head, they can't always go for defog safely because they know that there's a Defiant mon in the back. So, and even the Intimidate mons, people often forget when they see a mon like this or Bisharp or even like Primate, they'll say, okay, let's go into my Intimidate user because I can lower their attack, but that only raises our attack by 2 stages, therefore pretty much giving me a free +1 after Intimidate, which is pretty damn nice stuff. And that way it pretty much makes those mons no longer a check, which is nice. But so that's always cool. about Defiant, but Braviary, I've always liked Braviary as well. It's got pretty good bulk. Sub bulk up is something I always like to use back in the day. I think it was RU or something. But Defiant is the main ability I do want to abuse, especially with my Aura Veil, because if Aura Veil becomes a regular thing throughout the season, people might try to run Defog a lot, like try to be, you know, really for sure about bringing Defog because they don't want Aura Veil to last long. So that's the good thing about having Defiant, because Braviary is a beast at 123 attack. If it gets the +2 attack, man, Braviary, you just can't switch into it. So I look forward to using Braviary this season. Again, Sheer Force is a nice ability to have as well. It could abuse, you know, moves like Rock Slide, Shadow Claw. Well, not Shadow Claw, but Zen Headbutt. Not the greatest move pool to abuse, but it does do a lot of work. So I look forward to using Braviary. But next up, we have Machamp, which I got for a whopping 7 points. And Machamp, I love fighting types in format. Stuff like Machamp, Hariyama, Conkeldurr. I love all those mons in draft format because they have so many possibilities with their abilities, their move spreads, and everything like that. So Machamp, you know, I was reading more about Machamp. You know, I was interested in reading up about Machamp. And this mon is probably one of the strongest Pokemon in the entire Pokemon universe. Just in terms of, like, you know, undocumented strength. Because, like, apparently the most, like, Pokédex entries, Machamp is able to move mountains with one arm. It can move a mountain. And Machamp's only, like, 5'3", so just think about that. A 5'3" person is moving a mountain. It's able to throw 1,000 punches in about 2 seconds. Machamp's a freaking beast, man. Like, Machamp can probably beat any Pokemon, like, without using stats. Like, it's pretty cool, man. I love Machamp. Machamp's so much fun. But Guts, No Guard, even Steadfast is pretty good in this format. You know, all great abilities. Not the greatest bulk. It's got decent bulk. Not the greatest speed, but Machamp is a lot of fun. I love the way Machamp looks. It's got. I'll make it work for sure. No Guard is awesome. I've used special sets before with Focus Blast, Fire Blast. So, you know, I love Machamp. There's really nothing else to say about Machamp. You know, I do plan on using it a lot this season. And yeah, next up we have what is going to be our interesting part of the draft. We have our first meme pick. I say first because I was, you know, I had a pair and I picked up two meme picks, and I figured it was fair because I had Mega Metagross and NAGANADEL. So we picked up our first meme pick, and one type we have not picked up yet, but we have the beast itself, MINUN, the Pokemon Sapphire Electric exclusive. Oh man, MINUN looks so cool. I gotta tell you, man. Like MINUN, you seeing MINUN on our roster with all the other beasts, it's just so cool to see. But MINUN, you know, it's not actually the worst thing in the world. Like, it's my meme pick, yes, but it actually has some decent potential as a sweeper. I mean, it has no bulk whatsoever, but maybe with the Aura Veil and maybe like with like a nice berry on it, it gets Nasty Plot, it gets Thunderbolt. You know, it's got nice utility and Nuzzle and stuff like that. Encore, it gets Agility, it's Baton Pass. You know me and Baton Pass. But it's not the worst Pokemon in the world. It gets Wish as well. So, I mean, MINUN it's pretty cool. I do look forward to using this Pokemon because it looks cool for sure. MINUN's awesome. I don't know, man. Like this, I don't know. It's my meme pick. It looks cool. I don't know, man. I look forward to using MINUN. I'll find a way to use it. You know, it's a fun league. Volt Absorb is a nice immunity to have because, you know, this thing wouldn't even be considered a regular electric resist anyway because of how non-bulky it is. So, you know, that's what makes it that. So, nothing else to say about it because there's really nothing else to say. So, next pick was the next two picks were actually my Z Crystals. I ended up picking up the Decidueye Z and the Incinium Z to have two different Z move options for each of my Decidueye and Incineroar. Now I know it's pretty predictable. If you see one or the other, it's probably gonna be a Z move. But you know, the Decidueye Z move isn't too bad because like knockoff will probably be spammed a lot, and having that Z Crystal would be nice to pretty much make knockoff not as, you know, strong as Decidueye. So that's pretty good. And Incinium Z, they were each 1 point, so they were cheap Z Crystals. And if I wanted some sort of Z, you know, breaking capacity, you know, capabilities, you know, those two are probably the best bets at the best price. So, yeah. Next up, we have the PINSIR, which was my second to last pick. I picked up PINSIR for cheap little 3 points, regular PINSIR. of course, not great. You know, it's only a bug type. Hypercutter is pretty decent. You know, to where Intimidate users can't really affect me. Mold Breaker is very nice, and of course Moxie is very nice as well. It can act as a nice stealth rocker against stuff like against magic bouncers, which is something I do plan on taking advantage of. Of course, Sword Stance Sweeper could be a nice choice scarf revenge killer. It gets bulk up, stuff like that. Of course, it gets Sword Stance as well. So, I mean, it's pretty much like a regular Mega Pinsir, but of course, you know, it doesn't have that quick attack, you know, stab. You know, obviously, it doesn't do the same thing, but it's still a fun mod because its bulk is actually pretty decent, and its attack power is very strong, and its speed is probably undervalued as well. So, Pinsir is going to be an interesting mod to use throughout the season, and I look forward to using it. So, yeah. Next up, we have our final pick and our second meme pick. We have PLUSLE to go with our MINUN, and the only difference between the two mons is MINUN actually gets Volt Absorb, and PLUSLE gets Lightning Rod. So Lightning Rod is the better ability in getting some power, because, you know, Lightning Rod boosts your special attack at one stage, whereas Volt Absorb just gives you HP. That being said, PLUSLE is a little bit less bulky, but it does have more power special attack than the MINUN. So this mon can probably take advantage of a nasty plot set more than MINUN can, which I actually just never realized until right now, because I'm on Showdown looking at these move pools. But they get the same thing. They're the same Pokemon. They're just different. They're meant to be together on the field and doubles because of their abilities, plus and minus. But nonetheless, PLUSLE and MINUN, they're just so cool. I don't know why. I'll find a way to use both of them in a battle some way for fun, if I can. But I mean, yeah, that's the draft for the Rangers. If you guys take a look at our final recapped roster, we have NAGANADEL, Mega Metagross, SUICUNE, ALOLAN, NINETALES, DECIDUEYE, INCINEROAR, MUDSDALE, BRAVIARY, MACHAMP, MINUN, INCINEROAR, PINSIR, and PLUSLE. So there you have it. This is the Texas Pokemon Rangers full roster for the Extreme Battle League. Again, it starts this week where we take on PapaSea and his NY Klinks. There will not be a team builder for that battle, simply because I actually already did the battle, and it's been a few days since I did the battle, so I didn't want to have to make a post-battle team builder, because I really don't like doing those, because it kind of makes you feel like I want to spoil the outcome. I mean, I'm pretty good at that, I feel like, but I mean, I don't want to have to do that, you know. You guys will be okay without a team builder. Anyways, like, I battled, you know, it was my first Wi-Fi battle, so like it was kind of, you know, long overdue. But anyways, this is the roster. I tried to make the draft recap fast, but it ended up being 22 minutes. But I hope you guys enjoyed the graphics. Please let me know how you feel about the graphics. I think it looks pretty clean. I do plan on upgrading them just a little bit more for future videos, and I do plan on using this full roster. The screen you're looking at right now, the full roster page is what I plan on using for my team builders. I'll find a way to use it, but nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys this Saturday for week 1 of the Extreme Battle League. Go Rangers!